Welcome to my studio.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Fiona and I'm a full-time artist. And on this channel, I like to take you with me on my artistic journey. So we work on projects here in my studio, we go out to see art exhibits, I buy art supplies and share my hauls with you. So basically any art-related content. If that sounds like something you're into, please like and subscribe. It's one free click for you. It makes a big difference for my channel, and I would really appreciate it. All right, friends, we are back with another studio tour today. In case you didn't know, I spent some time over the summer visiting a few artist friends, and they were very generous to share their art spaces with me, and in turn, I get to share them here with you on the channel. I'm doing this because I am currently in holiday prep mode. I have a holiday shop that is going to launch November 29th. That is a Friday, and it's Black Friday. So you're gonna wanna keep an eye out for that. So today I'm really excited to introduce you to Project Joy Studio, which is run by my friend Jessica Joy London out of Philadelphia. And in her own work, she does a lot of mixed media, a lot of installation pieces, and using either found objects or just everyday things in your life to create the pieces. And she's found a way to package her creative process into a way that other people can also experience. So you can go to her studio, you can take a workshop, whether you want to do a little date night or you have a corporate event or even a children's birthday party. She hosts it all and you get to learn her process and create work just like her. What's also really fascinating about Joy is she's found a way to create products out of her process, create toys. She's just a real definition of artistic entrepreneur. And I know when I left her space, I felt incredibly inspired, not only by all the work that she does, but just by her generous spirit, her thoughts around art making. And it's really just, when you see her smile and you hear her talk about it, it's completely infectious. And I think you're just going to love her. So I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to jump right into it. Let's do it. Well, thank you so much for having us in your studio. We'd love to hear a little bit more about you and what you do.
Hi, I'm Joy from Project Joy Studio. I do a lot of things in here. I do my own art and then I help other people make art too. Over here on this table actually was a big giant painting that was done at a birthday party with multiple kids. And you can see the two circles on there now. I call those viewfinders. And after they come back and take all the materials off to reveal their painting, we move those around to find the most beautiful details. And then I stick it in my laser cutter all the way on the other side of the room and I cut them out and then mount them on wooden panels. And you can see over here sort of what that turns out like.
So cool.
So the families or the corporations or anybody who I do a workshop with, what sets me apart from like a paint and sip is that you get a very high-end looking result. So you can actually feel proud of your creative abilities and see that you can create something beautiful.
It's amazing. What a fantastic idea. So this sort of installation behind you, is this your own work or is this students?
Yes, this is my own work. And all of these small circles were actually cut out of larger pieces that didn't work large. So everything I do is with kind of these fail safes to help you feel good about what you create, because I am very judgmental about my own work, which I know many of us are. So the same thing that I do with the one on the table with the viewfinders, I make a bunch of big paintings and then cut out the most beautiful details and then mount them. And it's actually really fun to do that because this is very chaotic, but when you move this around, you can find something that's actually really beautiful.
That's beautiful right there.
Right?
Very nice. Tell me a little bit about the technique for creating these as well, because it's obviously not just like paint on paper. You are using found objects, I would say, things found in nature.
Yes. Well, you're right. We do use nature objects like what's in these, but I also use alphabet pasta and other really fun materials that you'll see later in the tour. So when I start making a painting like this, I actually make a colorful puddle with ink. And then I put objects on top of it, but it's really fun to watch the colors flow very slowly. And it really brings you into the present. I call it a colorful meditation process.
Nice.
And I see it as collaborating with something bigger than me, which helps me take the pressure off of myself. And then after you put the materials on, the water evaporates and all of the details that you see in my paintings magically form. So anybody can create something really high-end looking that almost looks like photographic. And then when it dries, you peel off the material afterwards and you get to discover all the beautiful details. And I call that the joy of discovery.
So speaking of, this is your materials bar, you were saying.
Yes. So I have a bunch of these really cool materials that you might not expect to use in art, like alphabet pasta. So this is a relatively new material that I've added to my workshops so people can spell things and express themselves in words. Want to guess the first things somebody actually wrote out with that?
Joy?
No.
Oh, no.
They wrote, listen, asshole.
Hey, art is definitely expressive, if nothing else.
Exactly. And I'm trying to remember the second thing somebody wrote. It was something like let go or like embrace play or something like that.
That's
they
perfect.
They were inspired by what I was talking about.
I was going to say that's a good motto for what you have going on with your work for sure.
100%. And then I have colorful, cool rubber bands, and I have the knitting from like your avocados in the grocery store. I have these pistachio shells that make cool markings. Oh, I won't go through everything, but here's like some fun like paper clips in the shape of like different things. So there's like ones that look like, oh, look at this
Leaves.
one. Yeah, that's a leaf. I think here's a bra.
Nice. Oh my gosh, yes. I love
Which
that.
is kind of, I did not know that was in there. That's hilarious. When I walk around outside, I collect things that I find on the ground. So I'm picking up trash and bringing it in here to use. Scraps of like silk are fun, beads. My father-in-law is an artist and likes to bring weird things over for my kids, and when they lose interest, I steal them. This little detritus leaves really cool small details in the painting. So when I make paintings and when I teach people how to make these paintings, I like them to use big materials, medium materials, and small materials. So this is sort of like a topping at the end. So
yeah, well, that's a key rule to art making is to play with scale.
exactly.
It's got to work on multiple levels.
Exactly. Variation is the key in nature and in art.
Absolutely.
And then I've got lots of colors here for people to pick from. And we don't use any brushes to make this art. We use pipettes and dropper bottles. So anything that kind of gets you more into a playful space. Because I feel like as soon as you put a brush in your hand, the weight of what am I going to make and what everybody else makes with brushes like comes down upon you, especially if you're not an artist or don't think you're an artist, like the people that come into my studio to make art. So I find that when we make art with these other materials that are unexpected, it takes the pressure off so that you can play and discover instead of trying to be a technician.
So you have inks on that side and then you have some inks here as well.
Yes.
What are these? I mean, they look delicious, but I'm guessing you can't drink them.
No, please don't drink them. Actually, when I first started kind of creating more of a playful space and not just using this as my own personal art studio, I was thinking of ways to like make things beautiful and exciting and enticing, and also to make what I do very functional. So whenever I get ready for a workshop, I was like, have to fill up all the bottles with ink. And at first I used to just pick the colors that I was going to use. And I thought, what if I just put them in these like cool, clear containers so that I can just put them in the bottles that way. But now I actually have moved beyond that because I let people make their own color palettes now. So these are probably going to go soon. Okay. Because we're going to actually extend the bar all the way down and push it back so that people can have trays.
Right, and then they mix their paints in the trays.
Exactly. So, and we're gonna have a whole like color wall up here and move this painting too.
This is such a beautiful painting, if I may say, as well. Was this for an exhibition or is this just for display purposes here?
So I actually made this for a really cool project in a hospital. and they got it from me and then scanned it and turned it into a vinyl wrap of the main reception of the hospital, and then I got to keep the original.
Love it when that happens.
Oh yes, I was very happy about that.
Yeah, this is just a beautiful piece.
But if anybody has $10,000 to spare, I will sell it to you.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. All her details will obviously be linked below for workshops. If you would like to participate in this, if you're in Philadelphia or you have a corporate event, you can fly her out for it. All that stuff will be linked below for you guys to check out.
So I also love making toys to help people create who don't believe that they can. And again, everything that I invent in an art toy is invented with the idea of helping to alleviate the pressure of making art. So this is my infinity puzzle, and I have been coloring on it with like Crayola markers. And what's cool about it is that you can take the pieces out and move them around to switch it up. So the idea is that you can move them around and solve it in a different way and create a completely different piece of art. So for instance, I can take this guy and move this over here, and then I can put this guy over here, and you can mix them up more. So if you were to like draw like a beautiful fish, you can take it apart and put it together in a different way, and it'll turn into a cool, unexpected abstract drawing.
That's awesome.
But what's really cool is that afterwards, after you're done playing with your design, you can actually erase it completely and do it again. So for this, I use like the Crayola Ultra Clean markers, but like this is pretty good quality for a Crayola marker.
I mean, it looks like Posca to me.
Right.
You know, it's like maybe a little bit more of a watercolor effect, which is actually quite cool with the design that you have on here.
I have drawn on them with Posca, and I have gotten the Posca mostly off. There's like a faint color, but when you color over it, you don't see it. So.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's my art and nature collab kit, and this is where you can make 4 different round paintings with materials and the ink, and it has instructions.
Oh, so what we saw that you host your workshops, you can buy this on your shop and try it out at home by yourself.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
And I'm creating Joy to Go kits where you can tell me how many people you want to do this with. So you can host your own Project Joy workshop, and then I can send you everything you need. So just 2 of the fantastic products that you sell that allow people to express their creativity and find that joy in it. Amazing. So I love stained glass, and it's one of the first things that inspired me when I was a young kid because I had some hanging in my house. But my dad wouldn't let me make stained glass, so I invented my own version, and I call them color cells, and you can just peel them and stick them to create a stained glass effect that's really high-end looking. I've actually covered 150 feet of museum window in this material 3-dimensionally.
Wow.
And here's like a little example of one that I've been playing with recently.
Very cool.
And they're just like stickers, but they're really tactile, and you can build 3-dimensional sculptures with them, or you can make sun catcher designs with them.
At that. That one really pops. Very cool.
And you can put them on vases, but I sell them right now in like these sheets that you can buy to create. You can put them straight on your window. You can put them on, a empty wine bottle.
Yeah.
Anything to like have fun with the wonder of color, light, and illumination.
So amazing and inspiring how you found ways to bring what you do in your own studio practice to others.
Thank you.
Really, really inspired by that. Gotta see this butterfly up close. Look at this. Like, look at the details when you're in there. So you guys can do this at home too if you want to pick up one of those.
And I'm eventually going to create a dome covered in this stuff that's actually connected to your breathing. So as you take deep breaths, it will illuminate from the bottom up.
Yes. Yes, we love that.
I call it breathing room. It's my most watched video on Instagram. My most watched reel is me making a small model of breathing room.
Oh my gosh, we're going to link that below so you guys can check it out. But is this something, it'll be a public art installation?
That's what I'm working towards right now. I have 2 companies and I'm working to get funding for that. So
Excellent.
yes.
That's something to look forward to.
And I want to make a smaller version of it that can go in hospitals and other spaces where people are dealing with challenging situations so that they can breathe and see that they can create something beautiful if they slow down and just take a breath.
Looks like there's some aspirational messages.
So I did an experience in New York at New York Makers Fair many years ago. And I called it the Project Joy Dream Exchange. And everybody wrote a dream on the back of these clouds and then got to paint on the other side.
Oh my god.
And I even have a Chinese one right there.
Yeah.
And I have like 400 of these, but I haven't hung them all up. But one person at the event came back to get their cloud, and I took a picture of it, and it said, "My dream is to try everything."
Oh,
And
amazing.
I just thought that was so poignant and sweet, and it was just like a little kid.
Yeah. So cool.
Those are my dream clouds.
Dream clouds.
So this is an idea I've had for like a couple of years, because when I started doing the puddle painting that you saw earlier, I actually would roll the dice to tell me how many colors, which colors, how much of each color, how much water, what material, because I was just so overwhelmed by this decision-making process. And that's what helped me develop that whole process, was by doing that. And I have a lab book with like all of the values of everything. So I thought, wouldn't that be fun to apply that sort of gamification to every art supply that I've been hoarding forever? So I literally have had some of these things for like 10 years and haven't used them. Seem familiar?
Yeah.
And so we actually labeled every one of these. And by we, I mean I have 3 interns who are incredible and are helping me with this very like detail-oriented job. And what we're going to do is create a game to where you randomly pick you might roll the die or spin a wheel or whatever, and you'll get like anywhere from like 2 to 10. And then you would do something else that maybe like marbles with the numbers on them would roll down. And then you would pick the materials that correlated with the number. And then you would either free play with all these different disparate materials and tools, or you would bring them over to my table on the other side and we would play a game with them.
It's such an excellent idea to add that sense of play into the artwork again, and taking away a little bit of that hesitation people might have about choosing materials themselves, and just letting them have fun with what they have, playing with the improvisation of it. Such a fun idea.
And if you follow along on Instagram, I'm also, as I develop this, going to be creating a way for you to be able to do that with the materials that you have that you are not using.
Oh my gosh, I could use that.
Yeah. So I think that's really going to be fun. And I really want anybody, even if you don't have art supplies, if you have highlighters and markers and pens, like whatever you have, you'll be able to use those materials with this process that I'm creating. But right now we've got a lot of, things that make colors, but we also are going to have tools that are kind of unfamiliar on this wall that either another artist invented or we are inventing it, because I just got a 3D printer that's on its way.
Excellent.
And so we're going to be inventing new tools to make markings that are more fun and exploratory, so we don't get stuck in our technical artists' brains.
Exactly. I love that. All right, guys, comment below what your favorite material is to use if you see it here. And if you don't see it here, also comment it, because we always like to hear about that.
Yeah, I want to know, what am I missing?
I'm not sure you're missing anything. Very, very cool. And very well organized as well. Good use of the pegboards.
Shout out to my interns from Drexel that helped me bring this to life, because I don't know if I could have done this without them, or at least it would have taken a lot longer.
We love our interns. Shout out to the interns. Oh, is this a tool that you made, or?
So this is somebody else made this, and I found him through a friend on Instagram who I also did like an event. It's called a pencil brush.
Oh my gosh, so this is all...
Yeah, so it's all graphite. They fill up all the way, but I just like was doing something with a smaller grouping of them. But you can space them out to change it up, and then you literally just, here, I'll just do it.
Let's see how this contraption works.
Let's test it out.
Oh, how fun is this?
So, just a fun way to like play. And then you can go back in and color in the lines or not.
Oh my gosh, can I try?
Yeah.
I'm just so curious to try it.
You want me to hold it?
Thank you. Yeah.
You're good.
So cool.
You make your marks with that on a giant sheet of paper. Right?
You could have it back, but yeah, take it back before I steal it.
I'll tell you who made this. They're very limited edition because he makes these by hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, my pencil brush.
I love it.
I had to get it. I think this is the 13th one that he made.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, really limited edition. All right, I'm asking you about the kitchen area, and she said that they just put this together last Friday.
Yeah. So I'm having a big photo shoot in my studio in September, and so I'm really trying to focus on each area of my studio to elevate it. We have like an ugly metal thing here before, and we moved these in from the other space. And then we took all of these really cool tiles that were, let me pick, and these are magnetic.
Oh.
So you can actually change them around, but I just got a licensing agent, and so now I'm working to get my art on all the things, especially home decor stuff. So I thought it would be fun to like put something together like this so that I can manifest it and visualize it.
Yes, and people would love to have this sort of tile in their home too.
Yes.
What a great idea. But, you know, hey, places for snacks, to heat up your food when
Right.
you have a long day in the studio, it's very important.
Exactly. And I'm lucky enough to be able to work here 5 days a week. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So this person, who is the president of the
Art Therapy Association, and she is a neuroaesthetics researcher at Drexel. She's actually doing research that proves that when you make art, it actually is healthy for your body. So a really quick study she did that I'll tell you about, she took saliva before people made art and then 45 minutes after they made art, and measured it, and before there was an amount of cortisol, and then 45 minutes later the cortisol dropped considerably. And if you don't know, cortisol is a stress hormone that develops in your body and causes inflammation, which causes disease and other things. So making art literally can lower the stress in your body and lower the inflammation. So make art. This book is really cool. The Expressive Instinct: How Imagination and Creative Works Help Us Survive and Thrive.
Excellent. And this is such a great idea, too. We were just talking about your thoughts and feelings around getting adults to play more, because obviously you said, you know, you can bring kids in here and they're just a natural at it. Kids
Right.
have that instinct to do that.
Yes.
But it's an important part of your mission to have adults play again and bring that back into their lives.
Right. I mostly focus on doing workshops with adults, though I won't say no if I have space for a kid's birthday party or something like that. Because kids have this, like they have a sense of wonder all the time, but as adults, we've lost it. And so bringing people in who have, you know, anywhere from like zero creative confidence to a lot of creative confidence really thrive here, because they are able to make something that they didn't expect that they could create. And so my hope is that that opens the door to what they believe they're capable of creating. And I've actually helped like even like 73-year-olds become artists when they didn't think they were an artist. And that's very exciting to me. My swing.
Oh my gosh, your swing. Yes. Ah, this is great. Wee.
So one of the reasons why I think it's so important to make art for me and why I'm trying to help adults make art is because when you're making art, I believe that it connects you to who you really are, like at your core. Because right now and for all of my life, I've always had people projecting their fears on me and all these ideas of what you're supposed to do. And just even, I got to get up and pick what I have to wear. There's so much going on that influences you and kind of takes you away from yourself. But when I sit down and make art, I am like making from my core, and it helps me remember who I am through all the noise and helps me hold on to myself. And I feel like adults that are not creating art are so far from who they are on the inside, and they're stressed out because they're not in alignment with themselves. So I hope that when they come in here and make art, they can kind of see themselves again for the first time in a while. And I've actually had people tell me that they went home after a workshop and cried because they were so stressed out, and that like helped them relieve so much stress. Or I had somebody text me saying, I'm so excited to see my painting on Monday, because they did a workshop on Friday, and I text them on Monday their painting before they come in and peel it off. And they said, I didn't have the Sunday sads for the first time because I was so excited for Monday.
That's so nice. And just a good reminder overall about why we do this as artists, to just really tap into that core being of who you are and remember who you are and get back in touch with that.
Exactly. Remember to play and have fun.
Play, have fun, explore, try different materials.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you need inspiration and you have decision fatigue, pick up one of the kits.
Yeah.
Tell me about this side of the room. Is there anything you would like to share with us here?
Okay. So I put these paintings up on the shelf because behind here is the computer that goes with my
okay.
See, I'll show you.
So it's a camouflage. Oh. I thought that it was like it would open.
So I
That's
just
cool
have a
though.
French cleat on the back of
Yes.
and it just fits so nicely.
That's perfect.
For my events, it just makes it more pretty.
Yeah.
And then
More creative ways to cover things up with art.
and then we didn't talk about my laser.
Yeah, let's talk about this a little
Make the
bit.
light turn on.
Wow.
Here it is.
How did you learn to use this, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah. So I started out at my local makerspace and learned to use the laser cutter there. And then I ended up getting a Glowforge, which they now call a Slow Forge. Anyway.
We all got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And as I was creating more complex inventions, it was taking a really long time to make them, and I just couldn't imagine trying to manufacture anything on a very small laser cutter. And I was starting to see more of a demand. And so I took a leap of faith and trust in myself and my dreams, and I bought this guy.
Wow.
And this is definitely much more of a learning curve than something like a Glowforge, but I was very surprised that I picked it up like very, very quickly. And it is a workhorse, and it can cut 1/2-inch wood, can cut acrylic, leather, can engrave into stamp material to make stamps. It can engrave on glass. Like, there's so much that this can do.
Amazing.
So I love anything that opens up like a world of possibilities for me, because possibilities equal hope.
So good.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some more art in the flat files.
Yes. Love.
And I love the layering here. It's really beautiful here and here. And again, this is all done with no brushes. And this is another cool way that I make art with these materials.
This is used with a dropper.
Yeah,
Nice.
just with like a
And
pipette.
when the water evaporates, you get that effect.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Just like when you would like leave a coffee stain on your countertop, it's the same natural phenomena creating all of these little dewdrops on here.
Cool. Do love the flat files. Are they secondhand?
They are. I found them on Amazon Marketplace.
Yes.
Oh, here's like a fun experiment. This was part of like a giant painting, and I put the ink in one area, and it dripped on over to where I had a paper towel sitting.
Oh my gosh, it is a paper towel.
And then when I got to my studio, like the next day, I was like, oh shit.
It looks like a photographic paper towel.
Exactly. And I've never used paper towel as a material before, but when I saw this, I was like, let's make stuff with paper towels.
Yeah.
And I'll have to show you what the paper towels made, but let's see, what else is in here? Oh, here's what the paper towels made after a while of experimenting.
That's so cool.
I was so shocked.
Me too. It almost looks like glass, or I don't know how to describe it. It's so cool.
Like brain.
Yeah.
Scans. On this I have metallics in.
Beautiful.
Flowers.
Gorgeous. This is beautiful.
It's so cool. Here's a bunch of Yupo paper for workshops and kits. Some more art. And here's, this is really cool. This is a drawing I did like during the pandemic.
Beautiful.
And had it printed on acrylic. But now with my big laser I can engrave on acrylic. Which is cool. And then I made stencils with the same design to make paintings with them.
Nice.
All sorts of fun experiments in here. Oh, here's oh, these are really fun.
Yeah.
Cut out of a bigger painting.
Yeah.
And then here's some bigger ones of these.
They're
My
beautiful.
drawings. Thank you.
So is this something you would hang as is? Would you color it in?
That's a good question. So these, I think I would hang it, but I could also put it in front of another layer of something that's colored, which I think could be really fun.
Yeah.
And you could hang them up with the what are they called? Standoff mounts.
Mm-hmm. Very
I've
cool.
Sold a bunch of smaller ones to help pay for my surgery for my hips in 2021.
Did you go to art school, or what's your background in?
So I have a BFA from the University of South Florida and an MFA from the University of Michigan.
Awesome.
Which was fun. I got a full ride to Michigan and got to travel to Japan and got to work with artist Kohei Nawa in Japan, who's super cool.
Fantastic.
That was like really inspiring.
Yeah, what we got over here?
So here we've got more paintings that I've done. Here's with hydrangeas, and if I turn it around, you can see that it's really simple to hang them. And I sign them in the back, and they're on a nice thick, like 1/2-inch wooden board.
Excellent.
Or panel, you might say. Then I have some bigger ones. This was made with cherry blossoms in the city, and I am the crazy person on the side of the road collecting all the cherry blossoms when they fall into the street, and then I bring them back to my studio and make big pieces of art. This is also cherry blossoms.
Really gorgeous.
This is kind of fun. This is cats, and I use string to make the painting, and then I cut them.
Oh, that's so cute.
So the cats have a string texture.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I think it's kind of funny.
That one's playing with the string.
Yeah, exactly.
Cute.
Oh, one of the first materials I ever used to make my paintings was onion skin, and this was one of my early onion skin paintings.
Nice.
I think is really cool. And then
Another one of the puzzles.
here's like an early puzzle. So this one's painted on with Posca or drawn on with Posca markers.
Nice.
This is one that I let kids play with for a long time at events, so you can see it's a little worse for wear. And you can see this one is not like a rounded square, but when I went into production with this is a lot harder to make, so I had to simplify.
I see.
So
makes sense.
But actually, when I put them out and let people pick in the beginning, they would pick the other. It's one of my favorites from back in the day. I call this winter falling on fall.
Oh. I mean, it looks like, they just fell and you just captured that moment.
Right, of the
that
snow,
transition,
just starting to fall.
Yeah.
And then I do have every once in a while like prints of my work. Which these are like really cool leaves that happened. I think at the show that we were at together, I had the originals of these and I sold them.
You did very well at that show. You had a very impressive setup as well, like similar to this wall over here, with the circular pieces, but it wasn't as gridded.
Right. It was very organic. I had different sizes, like big, tiny, and different price points.
Something accessible for everyone, which is like really a good idea if you're into doing booths and vending and fairs and things like that. Are these just smaller versions?
Yeah, those are just other.
Love this color.
Ones.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. Here I have other like little ones. These are with buttons.
Oh my gosh, look at the buttons.
Thank you.
Love it.
Oh, this one has buttons too.
Yes. You've really found a way to like get this sort of art into so many different formats. And it's like, I don't look at it in any format and think, oh, that doesn't seem right. Like it just works across so many different formats. Like this is beautiful as well.
Yeah, this is one of my first puzzles that I made with it, where these were the hand cut triangles. And then it's funny actually though, because at first I just had like 200 of these in different colors and I like stacked them really beautifully on the table for people to play with, thinking, oh, they'll just pick them and move them around.
But and people needed direction.
Nobody would buy them. And so that night I was like, okay, I need to make a frame. Yeah. And so I designed this that night. The next morning I went to my makerspace because this was before I had a laser cutter, and I laser cut the frame and then brought a bunch of them and then I sold a bunch. So open-ended, good for kids, not for adults. But yeah, so this is like an early one, and now I have like the more, this, so the infinity puzzle is sort of like a take on this. Yeah. But it's a little bit more difficult, I suppose, or challenging.
Challenging, yeah. There are more pieces to it.
Exactly. And then here's like a magnetic piece where you can put your pieces in and move it around in a million different ways.
Is this something you produced here?
Yes. So I invented this guy. This is sort of like the next step after the infinity puzzle. Yeah. Is to be able to have this on your wall. So it would hang on your wall and then you'd be able to change the art anytime.
Oh, I love that.
So, and these are pre-painted, but I have blank ones. So you could like take this down, put it on your table and color all your pieces with your friends. Fun. And then create like your art baby with all your friends. Yeah. And then every time you come over or when you hang out with other people, you can have more blank ones that you add to it. And this is like a smaller one, but I actually have a 4 foot by 4 foot one. I'm for like an experience in the studio, but I'll do like a 24 by 24 inch for like home. So the idea is that you have a gorgeous piece of artwork on your wall that you can change up and play with and touch.
Love that. And this is like the bag with the pieces there too.
Here's like a bunch of pieces in here that I can add to. But again, you can get them blank. I'm also thinking about working with other artists to create like limited edition pieces that you can get. So you could maybe get them from like a bunch of your favorite artists and play with them. Fun. And then you're collaborating with them with the blank ones.
Yeah. Ooh, fun.
Yes. All in the works. And then these are more of my color cells. These bi-colored cells are like a new thing that I'm playing with. And then I have other sheets that have like a fun transition from one color to the next.
Can I see the back with your instructions here? There you go.
And then you can see like a little glimpse of like a bottle.
Right.
And you can put, I do like an event here for kids where they get like a fairy bottle. And so they can put fairy lights inside and then make their design, and it's so cute. Oh, and one of my interns made a mistake, and the paper got on top of it while it was wet. And then when she pulled it off, it made the openings in the middle. So I was like, that's cool. Let's use that mistake.
Yeah.
And then the other funny thing is that when they connect like this, that's like a mistake to me, but the kids go for the crazy ones. Like, they love the crazy ones. I'm like considering making just like a sheet of crazy ones. I'm like, okay, well, can't ignore what they're liking. Like, here's like 3 that are connected to each other.
I feel like you're someone that's very good at meeting people where they're at. So if you see people are reacting to a particular thing in one of your products or your art, instead of being like, well, that's not how it was meant to be used or seen, you're just very like, okay, let's go with this.
Yes. I mean, that's what all of my art experiences that I created for myself and now like leverage to help other people create are all about. Sort of like throwing a wrench in my thinking, because I don't want to know what is going to happen. I want to be surprised. And so by making products and watching other people do my process, it's a way of collaborating with, like, I feel like when other people making art, it's just part of my art practice, and I'm just collaborating with them even if they don't know that. And some people come up with things that I had not done before, and that's so exciting to me.
Very cool.
So
well, thank you so very much for having us in your studio space. It was super fascinating to see your work, your experiences, and just see the entire process and where your studio's at now and about where it's going to grow to. So thank you for having us.
it was so wonderful having you in the studio, Fiona. Come back anytime.
Yes. Oh, I'll be coming back. So with that said, everything will be linked below. Give a follow on social media, check out the shop, and let us know what you think. And I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay well and stay inspired, my friends. Bye.